But you must make up your mind to handle it boldly. And if the person you're trying to correct is not changing, you have to keep consistently standing on the grounds that you know what you are doing. Because I will not give up because you are not learning. I'm not going to do that. And I will not give up because you are angry. I will not give up because you are complaining behind me. No, I'm not going to do that for you. I'm not going to give up because you are looking angry when I talk to you. I'm not going to give up in that. As long as I know that I'm not enslaving you, I know that I'm helping you, but you have refused to realize it. You know, I listened to a tape yesterday and it changed my whole life. The person was using Ephesians chapter 6 from verse 12 and was defining that the X word was in principalities, was in powers, to show that demons are together. But he said, to believers, he said the just one, the just, the righteous. He said, anybody who isolates himself by offenses is exposed to be attacked easily. He said, and he now brought an illustration with animals. He said, every animal has a weaponry of destruction. The lion has, is either his teeth or his clutches. The elephant has, the rhinos has, the crocodile has. He said, but the sheep does not have. He said, the strength of the sheep is unity. They go together. He said, that's the strength of the sheep. They move together. So because they go as a team, they become more powerful than one lion. So, if you want to be a man who will be successful tomorrow, then you should accept the spirit of a team. The spirit of a team simply means when you are wrong, you have to be corrected. When you are corrupting your life, somebody has to take you out of the corruption. And that's where the external hands comes into your life. And we all must accept that we all need external stretching of the hands to change certain beliefs, certain habits, certain lifestyle, so we can really come out to be what God wants us to be, because corruption can actually be handled. It depends on your acceptance to the external forces that will take care of it. But from my language of life, I will first not be scared to lose you if I want to help you. Because the fear of losing you is why you cannot be helped. So if I want to correct you and my correction becomes a problem, then I don't have value for you when I see that. Because I've always said, I didn't ask you to steal. I didn't ask you to do something. I just told you to get better. This is not the way to do this thing. And this is how to do it. And you're offended for what? What are you offended for? For what? At what level? So when we understand how life works, we will always have reasons not to get into crisis. I think that will help everyone that listening.
Thank you so much, sir. Okay, so we take this question from Jacinta. She said, good morning, Bishop. My name is Jacinta Felix Schweibo. 3 years ago, about 4 years ago, my elder sister got raped by a cluster of armed robbers. Real before then, she was a very, very devoted Christian. And then for 3 years, it looks as if we had lost her, because she blamed God for everything. She hated men. She hated herself. And she even hated us. And then, because at some point she was feeling very down, we went for checkups and discovered that she was also inflicted with HIV. We have been treating, we have been praying, but she didn't want to hear anything about God, nor even any name close to it, as long as she was there. I prayed a prayer and I asked the Lord to please heal her of her depression and of that virus. God heard my prayer in one of the services in church. My pastor called my case and said that God has healed my sister because of the prayer I prayed. I thanked God, but it again took some time to convince her to go for a checkup, because like I said, she didn't want to hear anything about God. But then, because it was also about her health, She reluctantly went behind my back to do the test, and then she called excitedly that it has now turned to negative. It has now turned to that it has now turned that she was healed of HIV. Then another battle started of her coming to church to at least testify of God's goodness. She rather told me to go and do it myself, since it was my prayer that God answered, not hers. Again, I spoke with my pastor, and then my pastor invited her. She refused to come to church, so he drove to the house with me. It took about 3 hours, and again, I appreciate pastors because my pastor took insults from my elder sister, but he understood the state of life she was. After so much convincing, and again, after 3 months from that visit and constant calls from my pastor, she reluctantly came to church in one of our services. Now, my worry now is she had been absorbed back to church. She now finds her solace in church, but she doesn't want anything to do with men. As long as a man is concerned, you cannot even touch her, you cannot even talk to her, or make passes at her becomes even worse. At the time, she was arrested because she malhandled a guy who had attempted politely to reach out to her, slapped him, tore his clothes, and called him all sorts of shambles, and then she was locked up by the sister of the boy who was also in the scene. Now my question, sir, is how can I convince my sister to let go of the past event, be appreciative of life today, and move on, because she eventually has to marry at some point, which she is saying she would not. She is 29 and she has so much of life, beauty, and vigor. And that's just my question this morning, and concern to all of us in the family.
You know, man and his capacity to accuse and to blame. You know, I was trying to do a study 2 years ago about how man works and how man takes actions and decisions. And you know, the first thing that we do is to look for who to blame. And the second thing that we do is to look for who to accuse. Let's look at before the armed robbers came. How was her life? Because that did not say anything about her life. What was her life? What was she doing? How does she dress? What friends does she keep? Those are questions we will ask. Before an event, there was a pre-life before that event. So how was her life? Now, the rape case happened. How does that involve God and the church? That's an act of a man being displayed there. Wickedness can come from anybody. You have to make sure you keep the right environment for yourself, for your own safety. Keep the right people in your life. Check the people you communicate with. Check the kind of message you send on. But today that everybody's online. Check the things you post on your status. Check how you dress. Check the things you say, because all of these things are attractive enough to bring any danger to your life. Let's check all of that. And then the drag of the church, that is what I keep saying. Why will you blame the church for an event that has nothing to do with the church? It's not a God problem. It's a man's problem. It's you. And whoever did that to you, it has nothing to do with God. If we keep the right environment, behave, please, you have to behave protectively. I've always said some ladies don't know how to behave protectively. They behave exposingly. Behave protecting yourself. You don't need to shout to anybody. Behave protectively. The things you send about yourself, the things you say about yourself, how you relate with the opposite sex, how you relate protectively. So you won't attract anything that will molest your life. That would have helped a lot. And then for the conviction about the sickness and all of that, those are things we cannot do.
And from scriptures, before this week ends, you're going to see the manifestations of those things. Now, don't forget to share the link to your friends and your family. Let them know Gospel Manager is now live. And don't forget also to let them know they could send in their questions, not just stream only. And whether or not they stream whilst we are live, they could actually send in their questions via the details on the screen. Now, for the email is thegospelmanager@gmail.com. And also for text via WhatsApp and Telegram, it is +23490473019. I say it again, +2349047533019. They could actually send in via text only on the both platforms. Don't forget to follow Gospel Manager on all social media platforms and on TikTok at Gospel Manager. And don't also forget to follow God7 for more profound messages and clips, prayers and declarations, quotes, lines of truth from his table. Now to follow him is at Maxwell Golden Egbe on YouTube and Dr. Maxwell Golden Egbe on Facebook, TikTok, and also on the social media platforms, Facebook. Now, it's going to be an amazing episode this morning. I'm going to leave the floor now for God7 to give his opening remarks and set the course for this episode. Good morning, Dad, and welcome.
Morning, how are you?
Fine, thank you, sir.
Yes. I've been trying to deal with the more mentality. I had a conversation the other day, and then I was asking, why do people need more? And I've been with that thought for the past 3 days. Why do people need more? And the question of needing more is the reason why we go to places and then we kind of condemn where we are coming from. The question of needing more will make you steal. The question of needing more will make you appreciate things you need that you have not merited them. The question of needing more will make you feel you need more time. If I had gotten more time, I would have done better for myself. If I was a little bit younger, all of those more mentality is the reason why a lot of people have not made progress. The more mentality makes you abuse where you are and exalt another place. The mentality of more makes you abuse your home and exalt another home. The more mentality makes you abuse your school and exalt another school. It makes you abuse your career or business and exalt another business. The more mentality makes you abuse your level of finances and exalt another person's finances. But I believe that the question we should be asking is, what can I do? Not more. If we start asking questions, what can I do to my home? What can I do to my church? What can I do with the time I have? What can I do to my office? What can I do? It's the what can I do that will produce that more you are seeking to get. So let us work on this factor. Instead of saying, I need more, ask a question, what can I do to get more? It is what you do that will give you more. And what can I do to look like America? Instead of going to beg them, what do I do to become a nation that will be begged by other nations? Because we easily condemn ourselves because of the things we see. Somebody can literally advertise another man's business, but does not advertise his own business. It is because you have not been able to ask yourself the question, what can I do to lift up this business to where I feel it should be? And until we start handling that, we will keep having the issues of, look at the issues that comes with the more mentality. There will be borrowing. A man who needs more will borrow more money. They will be trying to seek for approval for people you think are better than you. You will live in anger. You live in bitterness. You live in worry, because those are the things that goes with trying to look for more. And it just be playing around your life like that. You are never going to see anything good with yourself and in the place that you feel. So let us take, and let nature take this advice I'm giving serious. I'm not saying a people, nature itself, all over the world. Let us fight. What can we do? If I have 2 minutes to do something, instead of looking for 10 minutes, and you are given 2 minutes, look for what to do with the 2 minutes, and stop expecting more. Anything you have, look for what to do with what you have, and stop expecting more. Because it's when you use what you have that the more will come. And I believe this will help.
So much, sir. All right, so don't expect more, but actually ask yourself, what can I do to get more? Now, we're going to start today's episode with a series of questions from the political space, both local and international. But we'll start with international. A couple of days ago, there was a video that went viral of the South African president's visit to President Donald Trump. And in that visit, President Donald Trump had showed him a video whilst in the meeting purporting the white genocide. We want to get God's servant's view on that, and how leaders, especially African leaders, can learn from the response, behaviors, and thoughts from the president of South Africa, President Cyril Ramaphosa, and what God's servant's view is.
We should learn that the leader of the free world is really trying to put a lot of people in a certain place. He did that to the Ukrainian president. He's not doing it now to this. But my own is this. Why do we go to beg? Why does the African man go to beg? Is this more thing I'm talking about? Why do you need to go out? Because if you're not at the begging side, that will not happen. The Ukrainian president went to solicit for help. He also went to do the same. So why do we look beggarly? You're looking as if you have a need that somebody must meet. Why are we not looking from the angle we need to help America? Why are Africans not looking at Americans need to come to Nigeria, to Africa, to find a living? Why are we looking at people who need to beg to get? So that's why it's like a privilege if you have the American visa. So my own is, why are we going to beg? Because the moment you are begging, you are limited. So whatever actions you receive there is because you went to beg. If you went with a meritorious mentality, with an advantage to add to the people, they won't talk to you like that. And that's why I believe that the Arabian world has understanding. They dashed him a plane. They are not begging him. They didn't, when he went there, they were having conversations of their own kind of business, and they were dealing with trade deals. When he went to the Arab nation, they were trade deals that they were dealing with. So they were not begging him. They were even giving him gifts. So, but my own joy is that character plays a very big role in life. That man showed me that no matter what you hear, you can still respond right. So, which I've always said, your response is key to what happened next. No matter how right you are, if you don't respond to an issue correctly, you end up becoming very wrong. So I'm happy that from the backside of the block, a man understands that no matter how tensed the situation is, how you conduct yourself is a pattern to peace. So, and he succeeded at the end of the day. He got the attention of the man to listen to him because he knew how to respond. So let's learn to know that you can't expect what the next man says, but you can also know what you will say. You should always prepare what you will say and forget what they say to you. So if they come harsh, know what to do with harshness. If they come peaceful, know what to do with peace. So I appreciate how he has shown to the African culture that though we are approaching our matters wrongly, but we can still approach wrong matters with the right response. So that will help everyone.
All right, now on the local front, yesterday the All Progressive Congress (APC) announced that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the sole candidate of the All Progressive Congress for the 2027 general elections. That means there will not be any primaries, but he has been adopted as their sole candidate. This, the chairman of the party announced yesterday at their national summit. Now we're going to be asking God's servant what this means for our political dilemma in 2027, and is this a moral booster as against the coalition that is still ongoing for a candidate to represent the coalition party? How will this decision shape 2027 politics? Is it the right decision, or what else could have been done?
You know, that system is taking advantage of the divisions in the other parties. So they have studied the scenario and they know that if they sell that early, a lot of people will get to that party. So it's very simple. They have noticed the struggle of power. So in both parties, there are like standard parties. So they are taking advantage of it. So they've just sold to everyone that there is peace here if you're willing to come. That's the message. Because this is just 25. Elections is 27. They are declaring a sole party system for a leader now. So the image is clear. They are trying to let you know, in case you have a crisis, our party is accommodative. And if you listen to the president's speech, he said it. He talks about it clearly that in case you're not comfortable wherever you are, our doors are open. So their sellage capacity is very wonderful. They understand system, they understand timing, and they understand image control. They know the man who will make it work, so they know where to place the man. And the man is not uncomfortable accepting their offers because he knows he's not being challenged. So let's understand that what they are doing, they have seen, I'm going to say this, and that is why when we live life, let's not live life with too much of debate. Let's be sure of what we are doing. Whether you are in error or you are or not in error, be sure of what you are doing. See, these other guys are not too sure what they are doing. And because a lot of them are not accepting the partnership of one control of power, so they have accepted it. Whether they are doing well or not, they have understood that because the systems that will need to challenge them are not ready, they are already ready. There are billboards everywhere in Abuja, so they are ready. Because they are looking ready because those two systems are not ready. And that's why they are looking ready. Because if those systems are ready, they will not be doing this by this time. So they are telling you and I that they are expecting more people to come into that party. That's the message. That's all they're trying to pass to Nigeria. For those who will buy it. But my own is the good thing here that we should learn is that know what to do, where you have to do it, and who you have to present. Not minding the opinion of the person around your heart. But for the sake of the victory of a system, just know who to present. Whose image will not be abused, but rather will be accepted and used for the growth of a system. Yeah.
All right. So the next question is coming from Mr. Uzosuke. He says, "Good morning, Bishop. I agree with you on your line of thought about their preparedness. But don't you think this is political oppression as to mounting pressure on the already aggrieved and divided political parties? And then, a one-party system, do you think it's right for Nigeria?
You know, we try to blame or accuse. These are the two things to do, blame and accuse. What do we mean by oppression? It's like a family that is not doing well, and then your wife went somewhere and saw a family doing well. The family is so perfect, or your child desires to go and sleep in that family house. Is it the child's problem? It's your problem. You're not attracting what you need to attract for that child in the house. So they are not doing what they have to do. And politics is a game of interest. It's not, there's nothing like oppression here. It's a game of interest. So as long as their interest is not being met, the party is creating, we didn't tell a monkey not to eat banana because the banana is not his own. A monkey is in love with banana, and when he sees banana, he will eat. So I should have thought that the question should be, what will the other parties do? Not them, because they are not affecting the party. They are doing their thing. And the others are the ones coming to them. So whatever they are doing that is making those people go to them should be what they should be fighting to solve. That's what those parties should be solving. So it's not oppression, it's not political, it's not one party sim not nonsense. The man is not putting a billboard on the street, you must join my party. He's not doing that. Whatever they are doing secretly is working. It's working. So let the others who are seeing the things happen either stop it or challenge them and take back people from that system back to their parties. But to me, I don't see anything wrong in that. It's politics. It's a game of interest, and people are playing it. Nobody. Do you want your team to lose if you're playing any match? If your father is in the other group, would you want your father to win? No, it's competition. So I want to win. Whoever is there, you are fighting with me, so I have to win. So it's a game of interest. How you play it is how you're going to stand. So if you don't play it well, you're going to lose. If you play it well, you're going to win. Not putting sentiment in it. Whether they have bad governance or no bad governance, it's politics. How you play it is how you're going to end. So let them learn how to play it so they will end victorious at the end. Yeah.
All right, lastly, before we get into the other question sent, this one is sent by Stanley Chamberlain. He said, "Good morning, Bishop. My own case will be in the case of football. Now, my own emphasis is the Manchester United team. They fell so drastically in this season. It's not their season at all. Now, if you were the coach of Manchester United, sir, what would be your remedy to bring the club back to its glory days?"
You know, one of the things that people keep saying that I feel is a life crisis is exchange. People like to change people. One of the things I don't like is people being changed. There is an inner man. First, do they have the mentality to win? You see, when the mentality to succeed is in a people, anybody can succeed in it. Age notwithstanding, qualification notwithstanding, but is there a mentality to win? And that's why I keep telling leaders. You see, one of the greatest pain you will do to life is to make people feel they cannot do anything. Give people one lesson, you can do something. So I feel they lack is that mentality to succeed. They don't have it. So as long as you don't have it, you're going to fail, no matter how gifted a team looks like. And I thought football is a game played by the legs, but I discovered that football is a game played by the head and by the mind. So if they don't believe in themselves, they cannot win. No matter if a Ronaldo comes to that team, or if a Messi comes to that team, they're still going to have Maldini, all of those great strikers, Inzaves, Alonso, they will fail. Because mentality is the gate of progression. So what you saw in that finals, and young men who are still looking at the log of the table in the league, which they are roughly, at the time they played that match, they were 16 in the log. But I believe by now they will be 17 in the log. So the reason for that too, that failure is telling a lot on the players. And then two, because the coach came with a record of success. He wants to win. But he's still looking at the players and saying that these guys don't fit my system. But that is where he's having the issue now, because you cannot change an entire 11th team. So I was believing that if you have succeeded elsewhere, now use the mentality process and your tactics process to build the team. So he's trying to enforce his system, but the mentality to adapt it is not there. So because the mentality is not there, the system is not working. So if you want the system to work, first adapt, let them adapt to your mentality. The Bible always says it. In Job 32 from verse 8, it says, there's verse 8 and 9, there's a spirit in man. He said that spirit is what gives him understanding. So for that understanding to come, you have to sell that spirit to man. Then the functions will take place. So that team is not as weak as a Leicester City team that won the league many years ago. That team is even more profound than that Leicester team. But they had one team going with them. They had belief. All they just had was belief. And anytime there's a belief in a system, not only in football, they are going to succeed in it. So when belief dies, growth dies. When belief dies, success dies. So that's where the problem is. They don't have the strength mentally to even win a match, talk less of a competition. How they navigated that day, sometimes a certain system can provide victory for you when you don't deserve it. So you can see all those matches they won. It's the people they met that provided the victory for them. Now that they met a team that knows them in the Premier League, because if they met some other team out of Premier League, they would have won that match. Now they now met a team in the Premier League that knows how they play. And they've been struggling to win all their Premier League matches. But when they go outside England, they win their matches. So the problem now is maybe the tactics the guy is using has been studied by other coaches. Or the young boys who are playing that in that team also don't have the pace to play in the Premier League. And three, don't have the mentality to win matches. So these are the reasons why that team is like that. God bless.
Finally, you spoke to us about the teaching series for this month also, for quality responses. And then the Tottenham coach made a very striking statement in responding to his critics before the match. He said to them that he normally does not win any trophies in his first season. He wins trophies in his second season. And he has done it today, breaking the urge of over 17 years of Tottenham being trophyless. And that's becoming the thought and the talk of the town. Now, how did that respond? Is it now more like a norm, or is it about his courage or his mentality towards it?
Life is all about works. Understand that the more you keep doing a thing, you study how it works. And I've always said it. That's why you shouldn't be complaining about what you do. The more you keep talking against that thing, you are killing it. So the guy has understood what he does and know when he progresses to certain things. So he knows his timing now. He has studied his timing. He knows no matter the team I coach, if I don't succeed, if there's an if in the first season, there will be no if in the second season. He understands it. So he has stayed in that dimension of his life, and he believes it. So you see, it has to grow from staying consistent and believing in it. So he believes it, and nature responds to that. If when that team, if you watch that match, they didn't play well, but they won. How did they win? By a very strange mistake, mysterious goal, that even to me, the guy that took the claim did not score that goal. It is that young man, the left fullback, the teammate, it's sure of a guy that the ball touched before it entered the net. And that was a ball that goalkeeper would have even caught. So the thing is, when you have built consistency, you have also built belief, nature will be going to work at your favor. Everything you just touch becomes successful. So let's understand that we may say he's a prophet. No, it is consistency and belief. So he was responding to the critics of people. I know myself that at the second season I'll win a trophy. A trophy is a trophy, and he has won a trophy. I know myself. So that belief to speak and letting people know that it's possible has led him there. So let us learn. Never give up even when you're not succeeding. Stay and study your path or your tracks and know when you will go to the fullness of your victory. And that's important to not only to football or to the coach, but to the frame of life.
All right, so now we'll move over to the questions. And the first is from Miss Ngozi Okeke. She says, "Good morning, Bishop. I must commend the platform, please. I want to be very direct. You mentioned love growing cold in marriage in a previous episode. So please, can you throw more light on that? Because I'm a bit confused on the aspect."
There are advantages in marriages, and those advantages should not be taken for granted. And when we start taking those advantages for granted, that is when there's a problem. And the first advantage is there's an advantage to see somebody every day. You see a particular person every day. That's an advantage that you have. But you can get familiar with it. And that can destroy the marriage. Number two advantage is the intimacy of both couples. You can trade that intimacy when you want, when you need it. So when the other person does not need it, you don't do it. So they just do the things, that intimacy thing, when they feel you can refuse the person because of reasons that are personal to you. And you don't consider that the next person too has reasons that is more moderate to him. So let's be careful with that aspect too, can kill that. It will start bringing resentment, unnecessary attitudes, because you don't know how to manage your intimacy. And number three is when you have other expectations outside what you know. People have expectations outside what they see. You start having expectation. If my husband was like this, I just said it here, the moment that if my wife was like this, you were expecting more. You are seeing things outside and expecting more from the person you are staying with inside the house. So that thing, trying to expect more because of what you are seeing, will destroy what you have. Because everybody you are trying to make example with is not your husband, it's not your wife. That's your wife here. Your wife is a different person with all of them, or your husband. So let's understand that this comparison thing we do to our families is dangerous, and it can destroy any loving home. And lastly, this career division that people have. You see, I've always told to understand that there are very strong significance in careers. A man who is, because I want to use myself as an example, who has a calling for me to understand that for him to do what he needs his wife in the system, and for the woman to do what she needs the husband in the system. If that divide, particularly if that man is the university of that church, if that divide is not handled, at one time it's either the man will be distracted or the woman will be distracted. You cannot go away from that. Except that man has a certain ministry he's running that has no destiny impact to produce in life. There are some issues that you only know it at a certain level. But for true impact, there's a lot of decisions that has to be taken family-wise. Now, if the man and the woman are civil servants, but they're married together, they have other professions. But we must come into a common goal to define that no matter what we do, we have a central place where we define issues connecting to our lives, where the both couple can come together and say, this is our family business. This is what we do together, so we can share our ideas together to build the front line. Because if that is not done, at one time, it's either one party is complaining and the other party is not complaining. Or it's either the other party is not. So let's just know that at the end of everything, your home is more important than your career. Your home. Because nobody, they don't say these ones. Your home is more important than your career. Because if that home is not working, your career will not work. So let's understand that no matter your ambition, no matter your drive, no matter your talent, no matter your gift, no matter your anointing, no matter the grace, your home is more important. My dear. So whatever you do, make sure that home is with you. That home is with you, whatever you do. The moment you get that home right, you get everything about it. When I see you say you want to destroy your marriage and you want to be successful, I don't understand how you're going to do that. How are you going to do that? How do you want to do that? So you must understand that the end product is my home. Then for all of these things to build themselves, that's why I'm advising young folks who don't want to get married. Please take your time. Study a man to a level where you know him to his dead end. Ends where you know his temperament, you know his habits, you know his secret places, or the woman too, before diving into. And then you are satisfied with the career program that both of you have. You must take certain things serious. Because there are certain things people are praying for today that they would have thought about, reasoned for yesterday. Today they are praying about it. But it was for them to reason 10 years ago, which they refused to reason. Now it's a prayer point. Maybe that time somebody was pushing them into marriage. You are of age. You have age. They will not hear a word. Every time you have age, you have age, you have age. So because of that thing, they just jump into marriage. I have money, just marry because he has money. There was no proper calculated reasoning. So today now he's doing prayers. He's seeking counsels everywhere. That's where the abuse comes from. So let us treat this and then we will see the best coming out of the people around us.
All right, so the next question is from Roseline Uzosike. And she says, good morning, Bishop. Sir, please, when a child made a difficult decision and choice, how do you rebuild trust and maintain your connection with them?
Go back again.
It says, when a child made a difficult decision.
Child did what?
Made a difficult decision
Okay.
and choice. How do you rebuild trust and maintain your connection with them? I guess probably it didn't turn out the way they wanted.
I have said here, or while I was teaching, that you don't take decisions alone. The problem we have today is that people are taking decisions alone. They just get up, think something, and want to say it. How would you just get up and think a thing and just say it? Is that thing that's our problem? We think and we talk at the same time. You can't be thinking and be talking. You must think and think and think and think and think and think. At that thinking process, you are processing your speech. But today we think and talk. So a man who thinks and talks will end up making mistakes. So I don't see where trust comes in. If you thought and started thinking, then you started talking, you made a mistake, and then that turns to a decision that you made for yourself. Still sit down and think about it and redirect yourself and be confident. I won't build trust for you. You have to build it yourself. You have to know that I made a mistake. No. Acceptance is very powerful. Accepting that it was a wrong decision I took is the best way to come out of the problem. But if he stays defensive, he won't come out of it no matter what I tell him. So let him fight to make sure that he is willing to accept that he made a mistake. Then redress himself back. Life is too wide for anybody to stay and say, I made a mistake once, so I won't succeed. Go back again. Even at 60, you can still succeed as long as you have life. So the fellow should pick up himself again and try again. But seek counsel now. Get ancient heads to sit with you so they can rebuke, correct, reposition, and then you go better. Yeah.
I love it when God's servant says, get ancient heads. It doesn't mean you have to bring people from ancient and modern, but people who have the experience as regards to what you're going with. We'll take this question, and this is from Azubi K. Humphrey or Amadike. I'm going to merge it because we have 3 persons who send this via mail. And it says, good morning, Bishop. What is your take on husbands going to a different church and wives going to a different church?
I try not to get into those conversations. I will only talk about the state of the family, which defines what they do. What is the state of that family? And what were their foundations when they got married? And what is the progression the family has? So those conversations are supposed to be checked before we start answering it, because they are very delicate things. And we should be careful what we say. I will not sit here and build a pattern, because I'm not in that category of people who want to create confusion. I am not that. So all I want to say is that we should discover Christ as a family and let that discovery decide how we serve God. And if we are blessed by serving God in a particular place, why are we not serving together? If we improved our service somehow, and one of them discovered somewhere that blessed them better than the previous, then that decision will be taken by the both of them. It's not by the church. The church does not decide that one. So because we try to put the church in family crisis, and I've always told people, don't put the church there. The church is not the reason why your child is unuseful or your husband is unuseful. It's you and your husband. But today we bring those crises to church and do as if it's the church. Some people even say it's the church that scattered their marriage. I keep saying how? How did the church scatter your marriage? I don't understand. Because of an instruction given. It's you people to sit there and look about it. This was what was said. It's like you came to me and I give you an advice to go and destroy your marriage. Don't you have the Bible? Don't you have the Bible? I didn't tell you to do that. I only tell you to know the truth about scriptures. This is wrong, this is right, this is not correct, this is not correct. So check it yourself and see it's not correct. So let's be wise enough to know that no matter what we have, the Bible is our front model. And let's stop abusing the church for what she has not done, and let delicate matters of that nature be handled carefully by scriptures. Families should see reasons why they do things on the concept of scriptures, and that will help answer that question at the level.
One very important question that we have received at the course of the week is, what do you do when your spouse hinders you from serving God effectively? Before we take that question, I'd like to invite you especially to the Jesus Dream for youths and singles, and the Jesus Dream for parenting and marriage is now back, but in a new fashion. So join us in the months of June and July, the first Sundays in those months for a new teaching episode. For the Jesus Dream for Youths and Singles, it is themed The Growth Principle of Joseph and David. And the dates are Sunday the 8th and 22nd of June 2025, and also Sunday the 6th and the 13th of July 2025. The time is 6:30 a.m. for those series. Remember, it is themed The Growth Principle of Joseph and David. God's servant has a new light that we could draw from those Bible characters on how to grow our lives as youths and as singles. Now also we have another amazing one is the Jesus Dreams for Parenting and Marriage, and the dates are Sunday the 8th and Sunday the 22nd of June 2025, and also Sunday the 6th and Sunday the 13th of July 2025. And the theme is the Abigail and Esther's Principle for Success and Successful Parenting and Marriage. The time for this is 8:30 a.m. Remember, it's in the months of June and July. It's going to be amazing sections with God's servant as it gives us an expository of God's word in that dimension. And also, there is a special program coming up organized by God's servant, and it is tagged The Factory, with scriptural reference to Genesis 1 and verse 26 and Genesis 27 and verse 19. It's going to hold in a designated hotel. Details will be coming soon, but it is scheduled for June the 21st, 2025. Two sections, amazing section. The first section is the making of ladies, and it's from 7:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. And the second section is the making of men from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. It features free breakfast with God's servant, and also free buses are available to pick you to and fro. More details will be coming soon, so please get abreast with the dates. It's still the 1st of June 2025. And we look forward to having you in these programs, and get ready for a remarkable encounter. Now to the question. It was actually one-sided, but we're making it in general, not just one-sided. What do you do when your spouse hinders you from serving God effectively? Let's hear God's servant's thought on it.
Is it the question should not be what can you do if there's an if? The question should be what am I doing? Because it's what I'm doing that changes everything. You know, what can I do is because you have a difficulty. But what about what am I doing? Because we are not checking what we are doing. That creates the problem, the refusals that people have. So I'm going to go the other way. What am I doing in my home that a man who is a Christian stops his wife from going to church? But it does not stop you from making babies. Does not stop you from serving him his meals. And does not stop you from going to work. Does not stop you from going to the marketplace. It only stops you when you want to go to church. Then what are you doing? So it is what you are doing that is triggering that. So I don't care about what anybody wants to paint, because we like to paint pictures about churches. The hair wants to, but what are you? If a man can have a woman in his life that's outside his marriage, and you can still stay with him in the same house, then when it's time for you to go to church, you can't allow you to go to church. I don't understand. You go to work. You keep friends. He's okay with it. But church is not okay with it. Then what are you doing? So what you are doing is what I want to know. Because if you are doing what you have to do, that is the first thing that should be accepted by the man. It has to do with God. It has to do with God now. So this is the first thing the man should appreciate in your life. My wife fears God. My wife goes to church. My wife loves the Lord. So what you are doing to that home is major of my concern, not what they are doing to you. I'm beginning to get too mature now. If you complain to me, I don't listen to you. I will ask a question. What did you do to attract that reaction? Because things can only happen if you give room for them. I've noticed lately that you can be insulted is how you present yourself. You can be honored how you present yourself. Then more or less, this is your home. So let's look at what we are doing, not what can be done. What are we doing is the first question to ask. So if we start checking what we are doing in our homes, that is making, sometimes our kids don't go to church with us. Sometimes it's the woman. So it's not only man. Sometimes it's the man. What are we really doing that is making those events take place in our lives? But we need to start doing what we need to do to make people see the reasons why the church is important. So because if importance is not built about the thing, nobody's going to pay attention to it. So let's look at what are we doing at home that's creating that decision in our marriages. Some women are going through with all of that. So I believe if we check properly, we'll have the answer. But I won't say I give you a part answer because I don't know how you behave at home. I can only tell you about my wife and by the scriptures. So that's the only way I'm going to go. And I can only advise from the shepherdhood perspective that if you do what is well-doing, you will get a well-doing response. That's what I think about it.
This next question is from Jacinta Oromadiki, and she says, "Good morning, Bishop. Now, I've observed a trend, and it's about young girls, which I'm part of them. A young guy has money or makes money from whatever means, and because of the money, he wants to settle down, and many of our girls settle down with them. And pinpoint to the future, issues come up, and then they begin to make regrettable decisions. So how can this be curbed? How can we teach our young girls what marriage is proper?"
Let's not use the word teach. Let's use the word discipline. For example, you call a girl and say, it is not time for you to keep a relationship. And she tries to play it quietly because you frown at it. Now, why are you trying to play it quietly? Because you are told that you're not mature to do that. So let's be concerned about how fast our emotions can go and how quick that emotions can rise. And first gain access to maturity before thinking about relationships. Every other side attraction is not a problem. Are we mature enough? You know, the talk of professional discussions is different from emotional discussions. You can be professionally very disciplined and be very poor in relationships. So understand that. Why would a rich man lose his wife? So it's not money that is the problem now. He has money, but he may not have the approach for a healthy marriage. So you need to learn maturity in handling a person. So when a girl is attracted to a young man and does not listen to any ancient head, rather she is hiding it from the person who should tell her the truth, that means you are avoiding maturity. When the infancy in both of you begin to play, because you did not take the right foundational advice, you will not know the kind of decisions to take. So I'm advising young ladies, don't jump into relationships when your emotions are weak, when you cannot take decisions yourself, and you don't have anybody advising you correctly. All the people advising are people that are complimenting you. They are not correcting you. So, and you cannot take yourself to somebody who will tell you the truth. So those are very delicate times of a lady's life. And compliment is one thing that the woman appreciates. So, but outside that, mature yourself to know that marriage comes with a lot of unpredictedness. So when they come, because you have matured yourself, you can easily just play it out. It's not a problem. So the ladies need to mature themselves. When they do, whether there's money or there is fame, it does not affect you. So you can easily ignore and be at peace with yourself and reconcile and move on. That will help.
All right, this one is from Obinna. He says, "Good morning, Bishop. I want to say a big thank you for your platform. Sir, please, my question is, how do you handle a very wicked wife, for want of a better word? I've had many people tell me about the experiences with her in the office, even to church. And I've also experienced it myself with the way she handles the girl I adopted as a help and also a daughter. So how can we handle such cases?"
Standards will take care of that. Define when you know that somebody is bad. Define what gets to the person. If somebody is bad, then define what gets to the person. You will be unwise to just take everything to the person. So define the person's character is the reasons for that definition. So my own is simple. Define what that lady knows. Define what she sees. And define what is handed to her. It's not a problem. Don't make it a problem. It's simple. She's doing certain things that is affecting whatever you do. Define it. So definition is very key to life. Instead of sitting down to complain, define what you do and what you give out to the person. That will solve the problem.
All right, this one now goes. It says, "Good morning, Bishop. What do you do when you have realized that you made a terrible mistake in your choice of marriage? I just realized a couple of months that I made a very difficult decision, and it has cost me everything because my wife tends to be very shallow in her thinking and acts like a baby. For example, she had told me to get her a Lexus R350. I couldn't afford the latest model, so I got a model that is still Lexus. Bishop, can you believe that she broke the risk screen and said that is not what she went and left for her father's house? I have not even made an attempt to even call her to know how she's doing because I regret making my decision. At this point, sir, how can we who are married correct the issues that we are facing in our marriage?"
You see, the thing is this. Let's be careful with how we define love. You know, if two of us are always talking in friendly base, you say it's love. You see me in the morning, "Hey, how are you? I buy food, I buy for you. I buy ice cream, I buy for you. I'm going out for lunch, I tell you," in the same system. So you can describe that as love. And that's the problem. What we describe as love is just momentary attraction. Because if anything is loving, it has to be checked. Because love is expensive, so it has to be checked. So when you say you love somebody, you have to check out the person. You have to know the wrongs, know the rights, know what you can accommodate, know what you can avoid, know what you cannot avoid, before even accepting the person into your life. So one, the decision to marry first is our problem. We are marrying appearances. We are marrying soft talk. We are marrying money. We are marrying gifts. We are marrying properties. We are marrying. We are not marrying the people and knowing them. Because they that do know their God. So you have to know God. So if I don't know a person, I can't love the person. Love must come with knowledge. No. Love must come with, I won't be praying for a wife with my eyes closed like this. My eyes have to be open. Love must come with, I must see you, observe you, know your temperament, know how you answer questions, know how you react to things. It's very important. Some ladies cannot stand pressure. Some ladies cannot stand rejection, but they create rejections themselves. But they cannot stand it. That lady that cannot stand being refused over what she needed. She has acted. So you need to know, and all these things are playing before you marry. They are there. Maybe you went out for lunch and you didn't get what you want. She just walked away. Those are the signs. You're talking to her, she just opens her and just walk away. You're talking, she's talking back at you. Those signs were already there. But you are carried away by what you see, the curves of the lady, the face, her beauty. You freeze when you see the girl. You lose your five senses. And that is not working anymore. If we were seeing that 20 years ago, ladies then were disciplined. Today, a girl that is pretty is paying more attention to her beauty than her senses. And tell you that they've carried phone and give to us. She does not read any book for whole 1 month. She has not read a book. She has not opened read chapter 1. So knowledge, bankruptcy, character, bankruptcy, advice. Look at me, please. Advice, bankruptcy. So she does not have anything quality. So the only thing she has is beauty, fullness. Very beautiful. So she's dangling that body everywhere with short skirts, slimmy gowns, long wig, all that layers in the face. That's all she has. So will all of that build a home? No. So the young man should now start the building process. Because that's what he got himself involved. So start building character, building self-esteem, control. Why is it a must that you must demand for a car and get it? Why would you give a woman a car? What's the essence of that? If you want money and you have enough of it, no problem. If you don't have, and you can offer that, so he would have discussed clearly, I can't buy you that vehicle. Don't even go and buy the second. I can't give this what I can offer. If she accepts it, fine. If she does not accept it, he keeps his money. But he was trying to please the woman, which is not bad. But that's how it has ended him. So let him learn to know that training comes first before treatment. Train people first before you start treating them. After treatment will now come the pleasures of marriage. So the training is supposed to be done by parents. They've not done it. So when you try to get into marriage, check the training culture of a girl or of a boy. Then the treatment capacity will come. So when we neglect all of that, these things you keep hearing will keep coming up.
Now, I know you have contributions and questions to ask based on these questions as we are receiving, but we'll draw the episode to an end today. We will return on Monday at 7 a.m. and treat the majority of these issues, especially handling temperaments and the attitudes of people in a relationship and in a marriage. So stay tuned on Monday at 7 a.m. Gospel Manager will be back. Now, I was asked not to invite you myself because they wanted to do it themselves. It's our children's convention, and the children have a special invitation for you. It will play in a video coming up in your screen just now. I'll be right back after this.
Hello, We have an exciting news today, don't we?
Yes. Hello, cherished children and wonderful parents. We have an exciting news for you today.
On May 31st, 2025,
We gather for a divine appointment.
our children convention, a day of joy, wisdom, and spiritual growth.
So remember, on May 31st, 2025 at Honor World International, we'll see you at our children's convention, a day where joy meets purpose and young hearts connect.
I and my friend will be attending. I hope you will be there.
Parents, bring your children. Children, come with your friends.
Come with your hearts open and ready for an encounter with Jesus.
Don't miss it.
Come, let's walk in this life together.
See you there.
You there as the children has invited you themselves. Now, God's servant has also announced that by 9 a.m. on the 31st, the Saturday, May, is going to have a special baptism class with the children after giving them profound teachings, because it's high time we equip our children because they are the treasures for tomorrow. And the convention kicks off proper on Sunday, the 1st of June, 2025 at 6:30 a.m., 8:30 a.m., and 10:30 a.m. So our doors are open to receive you and your children. God bless you as you do so. Now, finally, on Sunday is our special Sunday service, and our Thanksgiving service is also our quality divine proclamation service. It's going to be an awesome time in God's presence as we thank God for how He had been with us throughout the month of May, and also from January to the month of May. The time for that service is 7:30 a.m. and we'll be streaming on our social media platforms, including the Honor TV on the Strong TV decoder. Remember, it's 7:30 a.m. and Sunday the 25th of May, God's servant will be ministering live. Come join us as we appreciate God in gratitude for all He has done and He is to us. Our doors are open to receive you, and there are buses around the Asaba metropolis to get you to and fro the venue. And also, if you're streaming, please share the links to your families wherever they are, whether abroad or other parts of Nigeria, to be part of the service. God bless you as you do so, in Jesus' precious name. Now I'm going to call God's servant to give his concluding remarks and also bless us for the weekend.
It is error-based to not grow where you are. And let every human know that it is error-based not growing where you are. The excuses we give why things are not working is the reason why you are there. The excuses you give why things are not working is the reason why you are there. Jesus is supposed to be a key study, or a study case for all of us. There was no wine. He said, bring water and put in the empty pot. He didn't say, buy, just bring water and put. He collected what they have and turned water to wine. In Luke chapter 5 again, he met Peter. He said to Peter, let's go back to fishing. The same boat and the same net. He didn't change it. And there was harvest. In John chapter 6, the people were hungry. He took from the same people fish and bread, and blessed, it multiplied. So it's clear to me. Jesus always looked inward to build anything. We today, we try to play down where we are with excuses and try to desire growth elsewhere, instead of knowing that whatever you see as an excuse is for you to exchange it for growth. So I want to advise every one of you hearing me today that whatever thing you face as crisis, you were sent there to solve. That's why you are there. That's why you are there, to help that church. You can't help a church though, but that's why you are there. That's why you are there, to help that office, to help that family. You were sent there for a reason. Do your best to bring out the best in a place and create what nobody has ever created. May this weekend become that weekend that the heavens opened up for your sake and cause your victory to come forth. Be blessed.
Wisdom nuggets from God's servant is what we enjoy here on Gospel Manager. You run with them daily, you're going to live a life that is beautiful. And that's why we say life, it's beautiful. And you, my friend, can handle it. Gospel Manager returns on Monday, the 26th of May, 2025. And we'll be so glad to take in your questions and share the week with you. Have a blessed weekend and enjoy the rest of your week. God bless you.
Unlock a harvest of divine favors and prophetic declarations this Sunday, May 25th, 2025, at our special Thanksgiving and Quality Divine Proclamation service at 7:30 a.m. with Dr. Maxwell Golden Egbe at Rehoboth City, Honor World International. God bless you.
I've come to testify to the glory of God for preservation of my life. If this ministry to come for prayers after service and communion against accidents. On Monday last week, the devil struck. I was driving to pick up a friend before I go for school run, just by NTA Junction by McDonald's. I was driving through. The traffic warden stopped the people coming and cleared me to move. But as I was moving, I noticed everybody around that junction started shouting, "Hey," putting their hands on top of their head. I was confused, but before I turned my face, it was a car that hit me badly. Hit me, boom, that was the only sound that I heard. And my car turned as if they wanted to stop, but for some reason, the Holy Ghost dropped the car back. When I came down from that vehicle, everybody was asking, where is the person that was in that vehicle? I told them I was the one. Everybody kept on saying, thank God, that a similar accident happened last week and 2 persons in that same spot died. Brothers and sisters in Christ, I want to tell you something. God's servant taught us that obedience is principally a choice. What you know will never change you. It is what you do with what you know that will change you. Now, God did it, but God did it because I obeyed the instruction of his servant. The choice is yours. God bless you.